Hi everyone, Maryann here from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality, wherever you are in the world. When you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Thank you all for your comments on the Jack Smith psychic kind of medium chakra reading that I did. I think it resonated with many because they've actually intuitively picked all of that up as well, that he's actually the right person for the job at this time. Also, thank you for the comments on my travel vlog, Cursed Lighthouse. I just want to point out, in case anyone missed it, that the dome of that lighthouse was made of quartz, which was quarried from right near the lighthouse. Now, when I did my reading in that spot, very close to the quartz, the dowsing rods were just incredible. In fact, they were pulling so hard. So upon reflection, if you haven't seen that video, it's titled "The Cursed Lighthouse?" ? I posed the question. On reflection, what I think has happened, many of you have said, was that kind of sacred land. I think you're probably getting close. I did feel a fairly strong Indigenous presence on the land, but I think disturbing that quartz in the ground and then building a dome out of it, where which many ships perished because it was in the wrong place. I think that disturbing that quartz, if you look at the photo that I took, you get these swirling clouds. I got the sense that this was kind of a portal area. So, yeah, many things at play there. And again, highlighting that our reality is much more than what we can see. Very often it is the unseen that we miss that becomes very important. So, thank you for those that checked out that video and commented on it. All right, let's get going to today. Many of you were asking why I wasn't coming on and reading on the Georgia Trump stuff. I think there's a lot of Trump stuff out there. And sometimes, you've just got to step back a bit from it. What really I guess picked up my interest was the downing of the plane in Russia and Prigozhin, the warlord, apparently dead. Now, many of you are going to say in the comments, but DNA has confirmed that he's dead. Well, who is saying that? The Russians, the Russian investigation is saying that he's dead. I want to take a look at if he is dead. I'm not surprised that he was. Putin always gets his person, doesn't matter, whether they are pushed out the window of a hospital room, whether they are poisoned, he always gets it, and it sends a strong signal to those that would cross him. I'm surprised Prigozhin was even in the air and took that risk, because he is just as bad as what Putin is. We'll take a look at Prigozhin. The Ukrainian counteroffensive, I'm pleased to say, all my readings showed that it was going to be a hard slog, but they would make incremental progress. And I think that's true. Now I am learning that they are actually making quite a lot of progress. So it's time to take a look at where that's going, because I think, going back from my other readings, I don't see this as a protracted conflict. And I do see the assassination of Putin. Now, I've spoken a long time about timing. Often what I read will happen 2 years later. So anyway, let's take a look at Ukraine. I want to see, many of you have been asking whether or not Georgia will get rid of Fonnie Willis. They've passed laws which allow the Georgia state government, allow them to remove district attorneys. So we'll take a look. My gut feeling is no. I suspect that the Governor Kemp, who actually beat the Trumpian candidate by a landslide because he stood up to Trump, and I want to also say Kemp has had a long history of voter suppression. I don't think he has any love for Trump any more than anyone else. So my gut instinct is no, she's going to keep her job, but we'll ask that. in Florida, a red state, not the governor, obviously, but a Florida attorney has filed in a federal court saying that Trump is disqualified. That's the word we're going to use now, disqualified from running for any office, including the presidency, because of his involvement in an insurrection. That has already been filed in a federal court. Let's take a look. And on Monday, well, it's Monday here in Australia, but it's in the US, the DC court hearing the January 6 charges will either give Jack Smith his date or not. Now, in previous readings, I've said she's not going to delay. She's likely to go either with him or not long after that date. So they're going to... Trump asked for a 2026 date or something like that. It ain't going to happen. She's going to go with the prosecutors. Also, Mark Meadows comes up. His hearing comes up to get his Georgia case, transferred to the federal court. Mark Meadows, as you know, has flipped. I think I said that a year. He's been flipped for a long time, and has been giving evidence against Trump for a long time. I think trying to get it into the federal court is trying to somehow soften the blow of those charges. Unfortunately, if he's successful, then a lot of others are going to argue the same thing. Trump could. But anyway, lot going on. Let's just get to reading. Let's just have a sip of the coffee. And where will we start? I think we're going to start with Prigozhin, the warlord, the Wagner warlord. Anyway, I was going to say I don't want to see him in the afterlife. I'm seeing somebody carrying a basket. What is this? Okay, it's like a... Okay, it's sort of like... What is this? It's like the Four of Swords image. Like someone mortally wounded, but I'm just not sure why that basket image is there. Hell in a handbasket was the phrase that I got. Okay, hell in a handbasket. That's interesting. All right, Prigozhin, are you in the afterlife? Prigozhin, are you in the afterlife? Okay, is Prigozhin dead? Is the warlord Prigozhin dead? Show me clearly, please. Is the warlord Prigozhin dead? Something about like the handbasket's not real. Anyway, so we get restriction here, worry. But she's... oh, that's interesting. I wonder if he's been imprisoned and this is all a bit of a ruse. Let's keep going. And we get a deal. A deal here. Exile, a deal? Is he... I asked, was he dead? Now we get the Emperor here as at the foundation of the reading. It's Putin is definitely in control here. He's at the foundation of the reading. The past, we get the Ten of Pentacles, a payoff, money, lots of it, legacy as well. Then we get the Sun card crowning this reading. Illumination, potentially illumination. These initial cards, they're interesting. It looks like he took a deal. Putin was in control or thought he was in control. We get the Wheel of Fortune. It's interesting, isn't it? The Sun card, the Wheel of Fortune. Whatever, it's like he's had a stroke of luck. Now that doesn't tie in with death, does it? The Four of Pentacles. That's kind of like holding information back. And then we get this kind of unrest. Holding information back and unrest. Now, he still retains quite a good deal of popularity in Russia. Okay, in the hopes and fears, 3 cups are lost and 1 is remaining. Ten of Wands, carrying a heavy burden, but it is a no card in the outcome. clarified by the King of Cups. Water signs, Scorpio. We got no, yes, and then weary in battle. I'm just getting conflicting and secrets being kept. I'm getting conflicting messages here. I'm going to say that it is possible that he could have faked his own death as part of a deal here. Or there's something around, you know, he could have even been in prison. So what would Putin do? Would he imprison him and then assassinate him? I don't know. I'm getting conflicting, defending oneself, conflicting messages, not clear cut at all. So I'm going to get and that's interesting because if he was dead, it would be clear cut. Okay, so yeah, something's not right here, keeping secrets in the past. Now, there's that Four of Swords, mortally wounded in battle that I was seeing. Okay. Hell in a handbasket. That's an interesting saying. Is there actually a handbasket? What does it mean? Show me the 10 of Wands, please. Is Prigozhin dead? I'm not getting a clear yes here. Is he dead? Three of Rods. Waiting for his ship to come in. Overseas. The world, endings and beginnings. And we get the Two of Cups, deals, relationships, contracts, and temperance, moderation and healing. And then we get the Ten of Swords, ending something, and the Knight of Pentacles, consistency. And there's that Ten of Pentacles again, family. What's at the base here? Eight of Pentacles, his work for Mother Russia, loans and debts, and then betrayal, and then walking away. Look, I'm not sure that he is dead. I know that's probably going to be controversial. People are going to say, no, he's dead. He's definitely on that plane. I'm not sure that he was on that plane. I'm not sure he's that stupid to get on a plane and and take that risk. There's something, I'm just going to say, something rotten here. I don't see it as a clear-cut, yes, he's dead. There are many possibilities within this narrative. And Prigozhin is just as bad as Putin. He would not leave himself open to assassination like that. So I'm going to say it's not clear-cut for me that he's actually dead. All right, let's take a look at the Ukrainian counter-offensive. They are making ground. They have actually broken through a fairly tough Russian line. As you know, I've been saying for a long time before it became public that the Russian economy was in trouble. I mean, I've been saying this for most of this year. And more trouble than what we thought. The ruble has crashed, and I've said that the leadership is not good, amongst a lot of disunity amongst the Russian generals and militias breaking off, etc. But Ukraine's counter-offensive would be not as quick as what people thought, but nevertheless consistent, but highly costly in lives to both Ukraine and Russia, and that seems to have come to bear. Now, I'm pleased to say they're making a pretty good progress at a time, really, when Russia is weakened. All right, so let's take a look. Oh, and I just have to say thank you, Europe, because they are, Netherlands has given Ukraine all their F-16s. It's amazing. Germany, billions and billions of dollars in monetary support just recently. Norway, Denmark, planes, F-16s, and the training. The US will be training the pilots as well. This is like coming at a time that's, it's a strength. So let's have a look. Okay. All right, show me the Ukrainian counter-offensive. Show me the Ukrainian counter-offensive. Okay, so we get Russia, my card for Russia, a season of time, and we get somebody is carrying huge burdens. Let's keep going, and we get judgment. Judgment. There's an inevitability about all of this, and I think that Russia will fold eventually. We get in the past we get the help that Ukraine has been given, and in the sky we get the Hierophant. I like this. If I had to, as I've always said, Ukraine will prevail. Oh yeah, they're making good ground. These cards are much, much better than what I've seen. Worse for Russia, better for Ukraine. And it's really the help and the money that they've been given, the aid that they've been given from the West has helped them defend themselves, not just take ground. Well, that is standing their ground and successfully defending themselves. And then we get hopes and fears. We get victory. You see the cards here. And now we get the King of Pentacles as the outcome and justice. So I'm going to say, the Magician card. Sometimes the cards just sing. And I'm going to say celebrations, people returning home. Take a look at these cards. I feel more positive for Ukraine. Look at these, major arcana. The Hierophant crowning the reading. It is ordained. The King of Pentacles. Plenty of finance. Plenty of, not plenty of, but they've got the help that they need with these planes coming online in about, I think, 6 months before they get those planes in the air. But they've got such intensive training. The Ukrainians are so clever. Let's see what happens. Justice and the Magician manifesting justice. And we get the Emperor, the control card, taking back control. So I see Russia walking away. That's what I see. I see those troops leaving. This is really good. I just think Ukraine is... Well, let's not get carried away, but I'm feeling pretty good about that counter-offensive, and more so their ultimate goal to drive Russia from their land, from their sovereign land. Drive Russia from Ukraine's sovereign land. Now let's get on to Fonnie Willis. Maybe we'll change cards. So I was using the Golden Universal Tarot, and I'm now moving to the Golden Tarot. There's something about golden today, but they're the two decks that I've been using. Okay, so let's have a look. Fonnie Willis will... Interesting. Fonnie Willis, will the Georgia state government ultimately get rid of Fonnie Willis? So there's outliers that will try. They'll move motions and everybody will start to panic. But ultimately, will the Georgia state government vote, or whatever they do, will the Georgia government fire Fonnie Willis? Will Georgia government... I heard no. Will Georgia government fire Fonnie Willis? Now we get judgment here, something around an inevitability. Okay, so will Georgia fire? That is a no card. Some could sit in judgment of her. That's to be expected. The extremist part of the GOP. Will Georgia government fire, or get rid of Fonnie Willis? So we get the Wheel of Fortune, and it's crossed by the Ace of Swords. So basically, this is what I thought. The truth is just so... I think it would, given all the circumstances, I think it would actually spark some kind of real crisis, because the truth is too in your face, and this is also saying that it's the time for truth, if you know what I mean. Fortune is favouring those that are truthful, that do tell the truth. And we get the Hermit card, isolated and reviewed. Look, let's not muck about. Georgia is a red state, although 2 blue senators. But it has a red governor. But, so she's not where she is. I'm sure that she's isolated from other areas of Georgia. But I just don't think that they will. The King of Swords, the prosecutor in the past, they might undertake a review of her, but the truth is there for all to see, that she's just doing her job. The Knight of Coins crowning this reading, meaning she's going to get to her destination. The Eight of Cups, we've got loss and moving away, so somebody's losing here, and I don't think it's Fonnie Willis. The Six of Cups, we get the past. So it's almost like they try elements, not all. Elements try, but they lose. I mean, that's basically what I'm seeing. These are sort of isolated attempts. We get the January 6th Tower card in the past. We get Temperance in the hopes and fears that moderation will prevail, and we get the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, and the Two of Wands, something coming to fruition in time, and we get the Emperor card, control. So as I started this reading, we get end of cycles, a decision to be made, but guess who triumphs? We get the Queen of Coins and the Nine of Coins. So there's definitely partisan attempts to get rid of her. Let's acknowledge that. But basically, it comes down, I don't know, there's Kemp seems to feature here. Whoever's got control of the government ultimately is able to control these extremist elements. So I don't see that she will. The voters, they know in Georgia, if they were to do this, that they themselves, there would be such a backlash against them. So I think the Kemp kind of Raffensperger part of the party ultimately defeats the extremists. Now, I don't think she will be removed at all. Although she could undergo some sort of review. The truth prevails in the end. Okay, so I'm going to ask this Florida attorney. Now, you will have noticed that the talk about Trump being disqualified, it's not a punishment, it's just a disqualification. In other words, if he wasn't a resident of the US, then he wouldn't be able to stand for president. It's that kind of thing. It's a disqualification. This Florida attorney filing it in the federal court. Let's see if he's going to be successful. The Florida attorney is the motion, because of course, as I said, it will go, that Ace of Swords just jumped out again. The truth is, it's fortunate time for the truth. In any battle, there comes a time when fortune favours the truth. So, disqualified. This, whether it's the Florida attorney, I'm just going to update my reading. Of course, it will go all the way to the Supreme Court. It's on its way there right now. So, funny, isn't it? It comes from Florida, which is, one of the more extremist governments, GOP governments. All right, so I'm not saying Florida is extremist. I'm just saying those in power are. This Florida attorney filing it in the federal court will ultimately go all the way to the Supreme Court, of course. Will Trump be disqualified? Will Trump be disqualified from running for presidency? Will Trump be disqualified from running for president? Page of Wands. Okay, so that's interesting. Speaking, hearing, and the Hierophant, going all the way to the Supreme Court. That's interesting. It's a charge. When I say a charge, they are bringing this one thing to the Supreme Court. Now we get the Six of Swords moving out of troubled waters. Before I go any further, I want to remind people that when I did pull cards or do clairvoyance on whether Trump ended up as the GOP candidate, I said he may well end up as the GOP candidate, but for some reason he doesn't stand as the president. And I think Nikki Haley will be his vice president or vice presidential candidate. And I see a woman. It's funny because I've never seen the cards move, the figures on the cards move, but I did that day. And I thought for some reason he doesn't make it all the way to 2024 for whatever reason. And I see a woman. But anyway, I've also read, before you start to worry, that Biden romps at home. Okay, Six of Swords. Six of Swords, moving out of troubled waters. And we get, in the past, we get mortally wounded. And we get the Three of Wands in the sky, crowning this reading. Now, this is waiting for one ship to come in. There are a lot of people in the US on both sides of the aisle, and independents and powerful people who do not want to see Trump. And I suspect some on the Supreme Court as well. All right, so we get the Queen of Wands, a woman here. I wonder if when it gets to the Supreme Court, whether Amy Coney Barrett gives her vote to disqualify Trump. Wouldn't that be ironical? These are good cards for a disqualification. Here we get the January the 6th. I can't make this up. The Tower card. And the Ace of Cups. An offer for a new start post-January the 6th. Ooh, Ten of Swords, hopes and fears, complete and utter downfall, the ending of this cycle. And then the outcome is the Ten of Wands. Will he be disqualified? There he is. He's doing it tough. He's carrying a lot of baggage. King of Coins. And then betrayal, heartbreak and loss. Some would say that's the sedition card, where you betrayed your country, giving and receiving help. Here's what gets him. That he aided and abetted. He aided and abetted sedition. Endings and beginnings. The Hermit card, isolated. Whoa, death card. Oh my God, treason. Oh dear, Ace of Wands, King of Cups, the DOJ. It could be that, I don't know how the DOJ gets involved in this one. They might chime in on this one as well down the track once there's, I think they disqualify him, basically, is what I'm saying. And it's an effort between the Democrats and the GOP who want him gone. And there's a woman that may cast a deciding vote on the Supreme Court. Okay, look, maybe that's how I see it playing out. All right, well, you heard it here. What date is it? 28th of August. Okay, all right, let's move on. It's interesting to look at all this now. I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene chased away by the same extremist QAnon people she courted to get into power, and she had to be rushed away from a Georgia protest because they were calling her a rhino and calling her Large Marge. I mean, really? You think this is the kind of energy that wins? It's not. It's not. This is a fortunate time for the truth. Okay, so let us look at, where will we go now? We'll finish it up. Will Smith get near his date? Well, Special Counsel Smith, the guy that we all hold so fondly in our minds, will Jack Smith get on or near his date for the Trump trial, the DC trial? Will Jack Smith be pleased with the date that he gets? On or near or soon after? Will Jack Smith get his wish? Okay, so we get here the King of Swords. That's my signifier card for Jack. King of Swords. He's a Gemini, by the way. Thank you for that. I will take a look at his chart once I can really make sure that it actually is his chart, because there are many charts for Jack Smith floating about. Okay, so let me independently confirm that he is a Gemini when I get that birth date. Don't give it to me again. There's I know the one you're talking about. Queen of Coins. There's the Judge. Signifier card. She goes with the DOJ. That's consistent with my last reading. The Truth and Speed. Okay, what I said in my last reading is that Trump shot himself in the foot with his behaviour and his mouthing off. It's actually a valid argument to have the trial sooner rather than later. The Sun card. Yeah, Jack Smith gets his way. The Two of Cups, commitments. Okay, contracts. We get the Eight of Swords. So we get this worry, this fear, the immediate future. We get the Empress card, season of time. And we get the Eight of Coins. There is a lot to get through. A lot of discovery process, a lot of evidence here. The Three of Coins and the hopes and fears. Another good argument, building together. He's so efficient. Yes, Nine of Coins. He fulfills basically everything. He ticks every box to get on or near the date that he wants. And we get the Five of Wands, this vehement opposition here, this conflict. And this is another argument why the Judge will move quickly to trial, and we get new starts after this kind of dissension and violence. So the violence that Trump is stoking and calling for is going to be the very reason why she will support. She's in control, will support, if not that date, very close to it. I'm just going to say Jack Smith gets his trial in DC sooner rather than later, and he's pleased with the outcome. There are things we can't see going on between, that is like a discovery, whatever the evidence that they're sharing. They've just got so much here, and we get the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. Yeah, these are all really good energies. If it's not on that date, it's going to be, yeah, I'm just going to say, I hesitate to put a time on it, but it will be in the new year 2024. So what else? I think that'll do us. One thing that I've been wanting, I'll leave that till next time. Let's leave it there. I know there are stories that Trump is trying to offload assets to his son. They were proved false. However, where there's smoke, there's fire. That's what I was going to ask, so maybe I should. Will Trump try and offload assets? Because Jack Smith is investigating his money fund, and one of the things that they can do is freeze that. Trump does have monumental money problems. I've been saying that for months. Okay, so will Trump move to try and freeze or hand over assets so that they are safe from Jack Smith? Will Trump try and hand over assets to his family? Trump try and hand over assets to his family. Transfer. He's very worried. Oh yeah, he's stashing stuff right now. We get the Sun card, Don Jr. And we get, in the past, things happening very, very quickly. He might have, wish fulfillment. What's the outcome? The Queen of Swords, logic, a plan. Oh gosh, the here and now, the money. He's really worried about this, that the courts might, the Hierophant card, that the courts might freeze his money. I think, this could be in New York as well eventually. That's in the hopes and fears. And look, freezing it like the Hanged Man. He's operating with one hand tied behind his back as well. And we're going to hear about it. Yeah, he is in the family. Assets down to family. He's in the process of actually doing this. The Lover's card. He doesn't want to lose. And we get the clandestine activities. Of course he's trying to do this. Okay, I'll leave that there. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great week. I'll be back later on in the week with another reading. And also I'll have tarot scopes for the month of September to release. So later on this week. So bye for now. Thank you again. Like, subscribe, comment, and that keeps the channel healthy and satisfies YouTube's algorithm. Like, subscribe, and comment. Bye for now.